Hi, I'm Mr. Ripper from Underachieving with Rip and KO, and I'm here to introduce a new segment. It's called Nocturnal Mission Wednesdays, and if you know how to work an acronym, that's the news. My nocturnal emissions are your news. Like, from my dick. You don't need to hear me beat the rotten abscessed corpse that is the Payday 2 microtransaction fiasco any more than it's already been beaten, and believe me, it's getting pretty soft. There are more intelligent and eloquent people that have covered it far better than I ever could have. Instead, we're going to be talking about the newest development in the world of butter bullshittery and why it may not be as bad as you think. Killing Floor 2 is the sequel to the delightful Zed-crushing Killing Floor, in case you couldn't gather by the number 2 at the end of it. Like its predecessor, it's a round-based, stay-alive, kill-Zed style game with different unique perk sets, class weapons, a heavy metal/electronic soundtrack, and Britain. Killing Floor 2's development through the Early Access program has been a rather tumultuous one, with players demanding more frequent updates, better development communication, and other things I really don't care to drag this on about. Tripwire Interactive, as of November 23rd in the year of our Emperor 2015, have announced the inclusion of cosmetic items, crates, and microtransactions. Their intention is to add a system and economy not unlike Counter-Strike Global Offensive or Dota 2 into the game. Cosmetic items with no bearing on gameplay other than making your priest look like a badass monster hunter, or perhaps giving you a tacky-looking assault rifle with Hello Kitty stickers plastered to the side. This is not inherently a bad thing if you ask me. It's a matter of timing and situation that renders this into a shady at best, greedy at worst scenario. As I've stated, Killing Floor 2 is still in early access, with the developers still working on the finished product. To add this system at this point in time is absolutely scummy to do it if you ask me, and has left others crying childishly for undeserved refunds. Tripwire Interactive should be focusing on delivering their finished product before further monetizing the game. That's not an opinion, it's an undisputed fact. If you disagree, fucking fight me. This is something that should have been delivered post-launch, after their audiences had some time to sink their teeth into the game proper. Furthermore, pursuing this method of monetization should either completely negate the cost of DLC, or at the very least make it significantly cheaper. Games are expensive, Tripwire. Don't make them more expensive than they need to be. Don't pull a Starbreeze and butcher the very milk cow that's holding your entire company afloat. All you have to do is treat your player base good, and they'll stay loyal through the worst. Treat them like wallets waiting to be bled dry, and you'll see what happens. Look at the Payday 2 Steam and Metacritic score. They have irrevocably fucked over their relations with their player base. They've slaughtered it and salted the earth upon which it lived. Don't disappoint your players, Tripwire. That's it for this issue of Nocturnal Mission Wednesday. Feel free to tune in for the next ones and check out the rest of our videos. Thanks for watching. Well, that should have been the end. I recorded that last night. And, well, I said more things. And I did some more research, so I'm going to tack this on to the... Consider it the Nocturnal Emission Cleanup. We are wiping ourselves up. There's more to it. More than I thought. I posted a rather lengthy post on Reddit about my opinion on the situation, basically playing a little bit of devil's advocate in the process. And I'm going to both link to it, and I'm going to read off the majority of it, because it's all pretty much important to how I feel. I'm going to list off a few factoids and tell you why you haven't been betrayed by Tripwire over their implementation of microtransactions, but why you should still be cautious. The whole Payday 2 situation was a rather unique one, hinging entirely upon the DLC practices already in place by the devs/publishers, and statements made by the representatives of the aforementioned parties. Had there not already been DLC gouging in that game, or maybe if there hadn't been a promise of no microtransactions, it might have played out differently. However, the stars aligned to create a massive cock-up that was and continues to be due to their poor handling of the situation. However, you're not here to hear about their troubles. Let's get a bit more home base. Killing Floor 2's introduction to these elements is causing an upheaval among some of you that I honestly think is complete and utter overreaction. There are people crying for refunds and crying betrayal, others uninstalling the game and denouncing it. You know, the standard affair. Let's break it down simple. Why you don't deserve a refund. Yet. Tripwire at no point made any promises of a microtransaction-free game. Do I think it's shady at best, greedy at worst for them to further monetize what is an unfinished product? Yeah, I do. You should too. You don't deserve a refund, though, and you're daft for thinking so. Why this is irrelevant to the lack of content. Ever hear the phrase, too many chefs spoil the pot? It applies to more than cooking. You can't simply assign more staff to one project and endlessly accelerate it. There's a diminishing return to that, and at a point it even becomes more of a hindrance to the game's development. What they're showcasing is something that can be done by back-end programmers and a couple of modelers, likely by people that weren't actively doing anything important to the game at the moment. And I seem to recall a statement somewhere backing this up, and if someone can find out if that's true, that'd be nice. Or tell me I'm wrong. Why this is bad, but not game-ruining yet. Touching upon Payday 2 again, one of the biggest issues with its skin is the fact that they had clear advantages to using them, something that fueled the hate for the situation perhaps more than the broken promise. Tripwire's gone and stated multiple times on the update page that these are merely cosmetic. As long as this is upheld, the introduction of skins is a minuscule thing, or perhaps even beneficial to the community. This isn't a good situation. I wouldn't sugarcoat it for you because I don't want you to sugarcoat it for me. It's not nearly as bad as some of you folk are making it out to be, and I suspect this is heavily the fault of other controversies from other games. It could also be a lack of recent updates, and I could feel that too. However, I would like to put some confidence in Tripwire that they wouldn't release the skins update without throwing something else in. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to be happy about the situation. But don't start burning bridges just yet. Something that occurred to me as an afterthought is that the introduction of the model could reduce or perhaps eliminate the cost of DLC, enabling more free content post-launch. Regarding the side grades that they talked about and the potential to put them down a pipeline like this, I feel that it's not that awful of a thing to do. It's pretty much exactly what Team Fortress 2 does, and I think we'll all agree that that game is incredibly successful. If they can get away with piping side grades through a drop system in any competitive game, then I think it's perfectly acceptable in a cooperative game, though this could be made or broken by the balancing of both gameplay and drop rate. Also, the fact that content will be shared among all the players in a game that makes it more appealing to me. By the way, behavior like this is absolutely unacceptable.
Hey, fuck you, you fucking moron being paid by Tripwire, or simply just stupid enough to write a fucking book about defending triple IDs of why casinos are a good thing for families with little kids. Out of the cave you escaped from, and never get out until you come to your senses again. Which I doubt at this moment. The loaded trolls that think that manipulation of sheep is easy drive me nuts. Fuck Tripwire Casino, and fuck you for defending it. Because when we want less microtransactions, what we need is apologists. GTFO. And chill harder, please. This kind of behavior is far more damaging to the game and community than these cosmetics are. And I'm sure these people are going to downvote this in order to try and censor this discussion. These are the kind of people that don't want logic to be visible on the front page, but blind hate. They want to socially censor valid conversation like this in order to further their purviews of entitlement and hatred. Don't let them win. Let's try and keep posts like this as high up as we can. That way we can actually be productive about this. Well, this is the real end of this Nocturnal mission. I've worked on it more than I thought I was going. It wasn't supposed to be more than 3 minutes long originally. Now I've recorded almost 8 minutes, over 8 minutes actually, of audio. And, it's not a lot, but still. It's more than I expected. I'm lazy. And I would like to take a moment to plug the rest of our stuff here. I would love it if you would leave comments, like, subscribe, check out our other stuff. Or tell me to fuck off. Just do something. Let me know that if you love me or hate me. Don't be indifferent. That hurts. Well, have a good one. Enjoy.